I built a custom AI agent that turns every new YouTube video that I publish into a blog post on my website. Welcome to day 3 of 100 Days of AI. I'm Craig Hewitt, and let's dive into this workflow. If you haven't been following along for the first 2 days, we're working mostly in N8N here for these first couple of videos, and today is no different. So this is the workflow that I've built. So it starts with a scheduled trigger. This one's slightly different than the one yesterday, where it will run once a day at midnight. That will then kick off a N8N node that gets a channel. And I just have a static channel ID. This is this very channel that you're watching this video on. And then we'll get a playlist. So pick the playlist and I give it the ID. And from that, we'll get the items from the playlist, and I'll pick just the most recent one here. This is the really key, right? So it's going to get all of the videos. So I'm getting playlist items, and I'm getting many of them, but I'm limiting it to one. So just the most recent video from the playlist. From here, this is where things get exciting. So we've gotten the video now. I really have like the URL of the most recent video. That's what we've done up to this point. And so you can see that over here. It has like the ID, the title, the description, but most importantly, the ID of the video, which will end up being the link. That's here. This is the video link. So, just like youtube.com/watch this. And that's what we're going to use in the next node. Getting over into the next node is a custom HTTP request. If you don't know what HTTP request means, it's basically using a custom API call to a defined endpoint. And in this case, we're using SUPA data. So I actually had a pretty hard time with this doing custom code, but SUPA data has a YouTube transcription API that we're using, and you get 100 free requests. So this works really great. And I think if we wanted to, we could upgrade to a paid plan that is pretty cheap. So for a couple of bucks a month, I'll be saving myself quite a bit of time and probably can get away with free 100 credits a month. So what this is doing is it's calling with this mostly static link here. And then I'm just appending the end, this video ID that we get right from over here. So this is the variable. Anytime you see the curly brackets and then all this stuff, that really is mapping back to this data item and the schema on the left. The rest of this is just the authentication that we're sending to SUPA data to say, hey, I have, this is my account, I have the right to make this request. And it's giving us back this stuff on the right, which is the transcript of the YouTube video chunked into little bits. So I've built a completely automated AI, research and social media scheduling agent for myself to research the latest AI news and post to Twitter. Right, so that's cool. So it's giving us all this back. That's really awesome. The problem is that's a lot of stuff, and sending all of that to ChatGPT would be a bunch of unnecessary data. And so what we're doing in the next one is I wrote a bit of custom JavaScript. Actually, I didn't write it, but my friend Claude wrote it for me. So wrote this bit of JavaScript just to say, hey, take the individual little bits and concatenate them together. So just merge them all together into one full text transcript. And so that gives us this bit over here. So what it's doing is it's pulling these bits of text from each of these items and smushing them all together into one giant paragraph. And that's the final transcript. So that's cool. That's really the thing I want. So all along so far, it's just been to get the transcript from the YouTube video. I then am messaging a model. So just like in the other videos, we're using 4o Mini. And this is the prompt. This is a pretty robust prompt. I don't think it has to be this robust, but I wanted it to be really good because I wanted it to sound like me. This is the thing about writing is when you give something like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or whatever, not Perplexity, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, more context to work with and more information, it does a better job. And so I give it a lot of background here. And then similarly, we're passing dynamically in the full text of the node before, which was the code that concatenated all those bits of the transcript together. So that's what that's doing. And this was what it would look like with a full transcript. So we're passing all of this to ChatGPT. We're asking it to return this in Markdown. Markdown is just a way to format rich text, so it is like you would read in a blog post. It has headers and lists and bold and things like that. And then from there, I thought about just publishing this straight to my website. So my website is on Ghost, so WordPress or Squarespace or Webflow or whatever. You could do all this, but I was like, no, I'm always going to want to edit this a little bit. And so what I did is just I have this dump into Google Doc. So here we're just creating Google Doc, and with the title of draft and then the timestamp of the day. So it'll look like this. And then we are looking up that same Google Doc. So say we're wanting to update the ID, which is this bit here, to insert the text from ChatGPT. And so here I had to go back one additional step, and I'm pulling in this results from when we called the model. And that's it. So we'll run this now and take a look at what it looks like. Because we got all of our stuff, we ran the HTTP request, we concatenated this back down, we messaged the model. That's going off ChatGPT now. We created a new doc in Google Drive, and we updated that same doc we just created. So if I go over here to my 100 Days of AI, I have this draft Google Doc. And if I open it, this is the blog post essentially from my video from yesterday. So this is the most recent video on the playlist. So the one from yesterday, day 2 of 100 Days of AI. And this is the blog post. So I think this is pretty good. It is in Markdown. So if you copy and pasted this into most modern browser or like text editors, it would just format all this automatically. And I would just be able to take a look, tweak a couple things probably, and publish it. And so kind of going back to the gist or the ethos of a lot of what I'm going for with automating things with AI and N8N in particular. And tomorrow we're going to take a diversion from N8N only and start working with some different tools. But this is great because this takes, me having to remember this and to go to my YouTube channel and use some kind of Chrome plugin I have to get the transcript, and then open ChatGPT and have it run this thing and remember the prompt I want to use, and then to stick it in a Google Doc or something like that is like, hey, this is just all already done. And so when I wake up tomorrow morning, the most recent video will be live in my Google Drive for me to take a look at it. I just take a look at this, maybe tweak a couple things, and then post it to my blog. That's it. That's all we're doing here. And so to me, the idea is to remove the cognitive and time workload as much as possible and until it's necessary. This is kind of like the human in the loop step is I'm kind of human in the looping myself here and just ending the workflow. You could just pop this all the way over to your website. But I was like, hey, I'm always going to want to take a look at things. I might as well do it in an editor. And that way I always have kind of the draft of it in case I need to do something else. So you can get the workflow for this and every other workflow that I'm creating for this 100 Days of AI challenge. Link is in the description below. Just pop your email in there and I'll send it over. As always, if you're enjoying this, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend about the 100 Days of AI challenge. And if you want to start one too, please drop a comment in below and tell us all about it and how it goes for you. We'll see you tomorrow.